Breaking news, weak factory data out of China, reigniting fears of a sharp economic slowdown there. Trading has been halted in China after stocks plunged 7%. The concerns now being felt here, where we are seeing futures trading sharply lower ahead of the opening bell on Wall Street. Dow futures off 276, S&P futures off 31, NASDAQ futures on a percentage basis down the most, off nearly 80 points. Let's bring in Insight in Action Advisor CEO Adam Johnson. You focus, Adam, on identifying trends across global markets. So what are you seeing this morning? What is causing this global sell-off?
Nothing's changed. I mean, that's the problem. As you guys have been talking about, look, China down 7% because of weak factory data. I don't know why that would be a surprise. Gordon Chang, author of The Coming Collapse of China, has been talking about this for a couple of years. The fact that if you just look at electric usage in China, it's only up about 1.5%. And if you link GDP to electric usage, there's no way they're growing at 7. Keith, that's like got your name all over it. We're growing at 2%. World relations are tense. I mean, I don't know why this would come as a surprise. It's the same story, even though it's in New York.
Because the reason it would come as a surprise is everybody knows that we know that China's still growing. We know the population there is still growing.
Right.
We know that there's still people moving out of rural areas into cities. They're building houses and buying cars for the first time.
Yeah.
So we know the growth is still there. It's how much growth.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's really the rate of change of growth. So the rate of change, like again, they can make up the numbers to Adam's point all they want, but if they're growing 2 to 3%, they're telling the world that it's 7, and they've come down from 12. Again, you go from 12 to 7 to 2, and you're still telling the whole world that you're going to be fine because you're going to devalue your currency. You're basically lying to people. And if you lie to people, you probably wake up with a bad day like today. Once in a while, you might get away with it, but in the end, you're going to get nailed. And that's what just happened to these Chinese stock market operators.
If you're saying that this shouldn't have taken anybody by surprise, Adam, then where do we go next? What happens now?
What we have to do is recalibrate the fact that a couple of things are happening. Number one, the S&P's trading at 18 times earnings as earnings are shrinking 3%. That's not good. We've got to adjust to that. And the fact that rates are going up. Yeah, rates are low. We can handle higher rates. But the fact is that still changes the playing field that we've seen for the past 7 years. And then you got issues like what's happening between Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, and Iran.
So what's the trade?
That's not good.
So what's the trade? U.S. equities?
The trade is finding niches like the dollar index. I want to hold dollars. I love what's happening behind the scenes in this country in terms of America going back to work, in terms of pockets of businesses actually finding ways to grow. The J.P. Morgan conference begins in San Francisco over the next couple of days. You're going to see an immense number of very positive announcements, especially on cancer treatments.
Yes.
You got to, yes, thank you, Dagan.
Yes.
You got to find these niches. That's where the opportunity. Forget trying to index yourself to the S&P. It's finding the opportunity.
Well, the dollars have really, I mean, it's not even like, I mean, it's the most obvious to people. It was up 9% last year.
Right.
You didn't have to take on any market volatility. It's the most liquid market that you could own. Is that something that you still think that people don't find to be a consensus?
Bet on America. I would much rather bet on America than bet anywhere else, and the dollar index, ticker DXY, is the best way to do that.
So invest in ideas, changing the world is your investment idea. Wait, hold on. Hold that thought.
No, I don't know if that's my investment idea, but changing the world, that is definitely Trump's idea. That's why it resonates, because there's so many problems around here. And he's actually saying, hey, let's wake up and change it. We can do this.
All right, so